just scanned this thing in, and I'm going to do the very boring stuff of taking all my little bits from the scanner, assembling them, and then coloring them. Oh, just a second. I gotta take this phone call, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Had to take a phone call. Okay. See, I have a cheap little scanner. Sorry about that. Moving the microphone back. Cheap little scanner. And I scan it in pieces and assemble it together. Not a very interesting process, I'm afraid. Bunch of regular old boring stuff. Number 2 position. Oh my goodness. That's kind of scary considering what I'm doing now is not very interesting. See, do I need anything at the top there? Middle, top. Alright. So this is just a matter of assembling things because I don't have a big enough scanner for as big as I draw. I'm just fitting this. That looks like that's all I need. Huh. Okay. Make the uninteresting interesting, Theo tells me. Let's flatten. Now this is where everybody doesn't believe that I draw in pencil. So let's make it bigger. And we will adjust the brightness contrast. Bring the contrast up. And sometimes I'll push the brightness down just a little bit. Let's do that. Brightness down just a little bit. And then I'm going to give it another dose of contrast. For some reason, my old Photoshop CS4 doesn't want to go all the way with contrast, so I have to give it 3 or 4 shots. Alright, now I will grab this. Am I happy with where it is? Yes, I am. Grab that there. That is going to be the outer edges. Let's go with that. Copy, new, paste. And this will be making the uninteresting interesting. Alright, I'm going to make this image 1000 dpi, 8 inches wide, and 5.75 height, which is good standard editorial cartoon hole. And you can see what it's looking like. I'm going to give it bitmap. Okay. And then save it. I look better from above than I do from below. Don't get that huge neck. A pretty good looking neck if you look at it from above. Alright. So let's save as. TIFF. Thousand DPI line. Okay. Now I'm just gonna go in here and just spend time cleaning this puppy up. It is bitmap, right? Alright. And I'll just go in here and look for bits of crud and take out the crud. Sometimes things are extra cruddy. Some of this stuff is eraser crumbs. Some of the cartoonists do not do a good job of cleaning up their cartoons. I find that in regard to cleaning up this hickey stuff, that the pencil drawings, which you would expect to be much dirtier than ink, really don't scan any dirtier than ink. You get just as much crud from ink. So I'm just going in here with the lasso tool and cleaning up little bits of crud, which anybody should do whether you draw in ink or in pencil. Standard cartoon housekeeping. Cleaning up the crud. once I get this cleaned up, I will go about coloring it. It really doesn't take that long. Not like it's terrible. And I do correct some of my drawing stuff, which may not be as elegant as it should be. But I apologize for showing this because I think this is not interesting. This is the housekeeping. Nice to see you there, Too Senseless. Okay, I'll stop talking about why it's not interesting, and I'll talk about why it's important. You know, lots of artists do a heck of a lot of dirty junk, and they get bits of crud and hickey all over everything, and they don't clean it up, and it just looks like crap. And you should have a little bit of self-respect and do your housekeeping, clean your stuff up. These little specks show up on ink drawings as well as on pencil drawings. It's not a matter of ink or pencil. It's a matter of, you know, we live in a world full of crud, and you want to scan the stuff so that your lines come out as black as possible. That's going to make a little bit more of the crud show up. And it's just what you got to do. And it's nice to be able to come in and do a little bit of finesse on the drawing to make sure that some little details are looking nice. That little detail was a matter of by not lining up these scans perfectly. But it's usually easier to clean it up than it is to worry about lining up the scans perfectly. Okay, I will refrain from ever saying that things are not interesting, because everything is interesting. I do like to come in and give a little bit of finesse here and there that can be lost from the drawing if you don't do the little finesse, like making the little bumps a little bumpier, creating a little bit of like this. This was a drawing thing that shouldn't be there, and I drew it, and I can easily just get rid of it. Here you can see that break is from my scan. That break is from the scan, but who cares, you know, because I'm doing this stuff. Fix it up. Too Senseless. People like watching the process. There are a lot of artists who watch other streamers to learn. Okay. Now that's a matter of fill, because I erased those eyes, drew them again, then they wanted to fill. I'm just running around cleaning up hickeys, cleaning up little areas where I think the lines aren't quite clean enough the way I drew them, fixing little bits of inelegance. Boy, I like my head so much better from the upper angle. Maybe I'll just leave that camera there all the time. I had it on my drawing table underneath the Wacom tablet. So I had to move it because I'm using the Wacom tablet now. Yeah, everybody should do this housekeeping. Artists are messy souls. Here you can see where in this area here you can see where the scanner pieces weren't quite aligned right. Maybe I should fix that. Every so often I'll see a scanner thing that I will, well, let's do that, endeavor to fix. Let's take that and we'll move it just right there. That worked. I don't put a lot of worry into those scanner alignment things because this is so forgiving. I would like to get all the artists in our group to commit to doing this kind of house cleaning because so many of them have such hickeys on their art. These little spots are called hickeys. Some little trace lines like this are lines that I actually made with the pencil and should not be there. That's getting a little bit of fill. So here's a scanner artifact. I'll just clean off a little bit so it doesn't look so artifacty. Alright, I think we're pretty clean now. This drawing was pretty typical for how dirty it looked. And a pretty typical amount of time cleaning it up. So now what I have is a nice 1000 dpi high res hard line scan. This is why people think I draw in ink instead of pencil. Because it ends up looking like ink because it's all pretty hard. I'm not dealing with any grays, pencil grays. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to stop for 5 minutes and take a break, and I will do AT&T stuff too?
No.
Yeah, I did all the stuff with the tech people on the phone.
Hold for a second, please. Know where your satellite dish is located?
Sure, I'll show you.
Bye.
Hey. So here we are. Do I want to deal with Trump's face and make a change? I don't know. This is time to do it if I'm gonna do it. Well, I guess I'll stick with it. What the hell? I'm overthinking. So, let's save that. That's good. Another thing I could do is reverse Oscar's speech balloon. Do I want to do that? That'll make it better in black and white. I think... Think on that for a minute. Do I want to reverse the speech balloon? Nah, I'm going to leave it. Okay. So let's I'm gonna save this as .400 DPI CMYK. And now let's make it grayscale. And we will add a bunch of layers. And unlock the background. Move that to the top. We're gonna select color range of white and delete it and fill the back layer with white. Double check that is white. Oh, it is not. Likes to do that sometimes. Not quite sure why. All fill. Let's check it to make sure that it's white. It is. Now let's check the black. Let's make it CMYK. Don't merge. Saving this as a large file, but that is just intermediary. Now we will eyedrop some black, and that is looking like a bunch of junky CMY and K, so let's select all of that color range. And we're going to make this 0, 0, 0, 100. Theo wants me to explain why I use CMYK. It's because cartoons are going to be printed in crummy newspapers, and let's see. Give me just a second here. So I'm going to delete that black and fill with this new black, just because I sometimes have trouble getting it to accept not having bits of CM and Y in the black, and I want no CMY in black. So that is a good 100% black line on there, and I will take this top layer and make it multiply. What that does is make all the colors that I'm going to put in behind my black lines actually be behind the black lines. So when this prints in the newspaper, assuming they printed in CMYK, you're not going to get those little white ghosts because there's no color behind the lines. And don't have to worry about trapping, which is edges of color pushing up against edges of black. And I don't have to worry about the lines thickening and breaking up with poor registration because they're on a separate layer and they are just what they are. So here we go. Now we are going to take this image and we're going to make it 400 DPI. because it's a manageable size. And I'm going to save it. And that is prepping my drawing for color. Now it's all prepped for color, and what I do is put in the color. 3 Rapper writes, what newspapers are you regularly in? I'm in just about 850. Among them are half of America's daily paid circulation newspapers. So the chance of me being in your local daily paid circulation newspaper, 50%. Okay, now, what colors do I want to do? The way I color is I treat it kind of like a watercolor, and I'll put in the background and then layer up. So let's go here and I think this needs to be yellow, so let's go with 10 magenta, 80 yellow, 0K, that looks good. And soft and big, and 20%. And then I'm just going to give it some background yellow. It's a little bit heavier yellow at the bottom. I don't do blends, I just freehand everything. Let's bring that down a bit, and we can do some stuff happening in the details. Okay, now another thing I like to do is add texture. And so this next layer up, I've got these nice little sponge textures that I made. I'm going to go here with this white. Opacity, let's go for 70. And I'm going to come up here and break up the edges. With sponge texture. There, that helped. And let's give it some ground. Little sponge texture ground. And I can give it a little bit heavier yellow. That might be nice. Let's do that. Credit up a little bit. Okay. Now I'll do the trash can. Hard. Make that, yeah, I'll go with 100%. Let's just go for trash can color. It's, don't think I like that. I'm going to go with just gray. Let's go with 20%. Erase out the bits. Okay, let's see. I'm probably going to want to make that speech balloon. Maybe white is fine for it. Top layer I do white. Let's see if I like the white. So the key to doing CMYK is to put your 100% K layer, my line art, at the top, and then choose multiply for that layer, because what multiply does is make everything print under it, which is just what you want to do with CMYK. Rapper asks, do you ever do a piece all by hand, or do you only color in Photoshop? You know, it's been a long time since I painted. I used to paint a lot. Right now I'm only doing color in Photoshop. Let's put this here. I'm going to go for a little white on there. Oops, the wrong layer. That's too harsh. That's probably all it needs. Maybe just a little bit more of shading. Now, what color is Oscar? Forgetting. Bring Oscar back up. Okay, he looks like he's about 40% cyan, 50% yellow. Let's see how that looks. 40, 50, oops. That's also going to darken up in print, so I don't want to do it too heavy. I'll make him 40 and 50. 100%. That's not looking right. Let's check him against the photo scrap. Could be a little yellower, huh? Alright. Let's make it 50 and 50. Oops. 40 and 60 is what I need. Yeah, that's better. Let's go back to Oscar. He's got a kind of the orange tongue, huh? So tongue will go for orange. Mouth is black. I'm going to put gray in there. That'll be a CMY gray. Spotted a holiday there. Oops. Holiday there. Give him the white eyes. And let's give him a little bit of shading. I'm going to give him a little bit of spongy texture, which ends up looking like my paper texture. And let's give him some eyebrow brown. Okay, I think he's good. Could use a little bit more shadow on his tongue. Oops. Okay, let's give our guys some flesh tone. Light flesh tone will be 3, 22, 22, 0. That looks good for light flesh tone. Do that 100%. Not getting much response from you folks watching this. Some standard coloring going on here. It's looking a little dark. I think I'm going to lighten that up. It's still looking a little pink, I think. Part of it is the context, the color that's next to it. Do the same for Ted. Now I'm going to come on top of these and put in a little bit of lighter areas. Let's call that 70%. His nose needs to come up, maybe the upper lip, a little bit of cheek. And let's come back to the flesh color, bring it down a little bit, do some shade. I'm going to give him a little bit more. Now let's give him a little bit of pink cheeks. Grab that.
For the evangelical, so it makes perfect sense. But I'm trying to figure out who the real villain is here. Now, when you talk to Ted Cruz today, okay, are you satisfied with his explanation?
Well, I have to accept at his word that he didn't know, because he said if he had known, he would not have agreed
so you're
with such a
accepting his
thing.
word, and a gentleman will do that. But his campaign still ran with false information that helped them, no doubt. But the information, it looks like, came from CNN. That's what it looks like.
Where's my remote to turn
Yeah,
the
but
sound
Bill,
off?
here's the issue. A culture exists within the Cruz camp that would allow people to take advantage of a situation like this in a very dishonest way. Isn't this the same thing we see with the Obama administration, the IRS scandal?
I'm going to have to find another remote to turn this off, so give me a minute.
Will do about those individuals who inappropriately disseminated this information.
There. TV repairman repaired the TV right in the middle of my streaming. Okay. Where'd I put my pen? Okay, I think I'm back. I'm refound. So what was I doing? Oh, I was adding some pink to their cheeks, so let's do that. Go with 40, 35. Nah. 40, 20. 0. Alright, I'll try that. Pink cheeks on another layer. Lighten them up. I like for the ears to be pinker. Usually a little bit of nose pinker. This is just hints of color because you can't do color that's very sophisticated in a newspaper. Rapper asks, how often do I stream? I'm going to try to stream every cartoon now going forward. And nice to see you back here, Vin. So I think that may be all I'm going to do with the flesh tones. Not a lot going on in the flesh tones, just a little hint of some different things. Here we can do Ted's tongue. And his white teeth. And his white eyeballs. And then the Donald will have his white hair. And I'll come back and give him some more yellow in it. I like to give him the yellow in the form of the sponge. See how that looks. Am I not getting that right? Let's add a new layer here. I'll put it on top and then I know it'll happen. The Donald's funny hair color. Give him a little bit of orange. That's gotta be lighter. Donald, he amuses me. Okay, let's give Ted Cruz some hair color here as well. Oops. And now I think I can do their suits. So, okay. Let's go with gray suit. Oh, that's awfully similar to the trash can, isn't it? Alright, let's rethink that. Let's give him more of a blue suit. Oh, it's a little better. Maybe 6 magenta. You like that suit? Oh, that's better. I'm gonna go for hard and just get the edges. And I'll come back and give him a little bit of texture and shading. Oops, I'm on the wrong layer there. Let's go with layer 13. I don't, you know, it's good housekeeping to name your layers and remember what you're doing on each one, but I'm pretty sloppy about that. Sometimes I lose track of what I've done, but usually it's easier just to skip the renaming. So if the editors actually print this as CMYK instead of converting it to RGB as they often do because they're thoughtless and don't think anything about it, give it to the photo department where they deal with RGB photos all the time. If they treat it as CMYK, it's going to print really pretty like the Sunday comics, where they have a nice clean separate black K channel. And if they don't, when the registration's lousy, it's all gonna gum up. But this black line on the multiply layer is going to look nice for the Donald suit. And all this under stuff is going to look clean and appropriate. Okay, I'm going to give him just a little bit of shade. And we'll give him a little bit of light. I think that's about all he needs. Might give him just a little bit of texture. Let's give him a 7% white, see if I like that. It makes it look a little more like it's on a piece of paper, huh? And let's see here, he's going to need some white cuffs. There we go. White collar. Give him a. So you want a red tie, blue tie? Let's give him a blue tie. Hello. Can I help you with something? I noticed that you got the TV right back on. Was it blown in the storm? I'm still here. I've got the TV repairman walking around, which is what was going on. Donald. Did he need that? No, he didn't need that, did he? He needed a little bit on his nose, I think. So, what color for Cruz's suit? Maybe I'll give him more of a brown. Let's try that. Let's give him this brown. He needs a dark suit. Opacity 100. All right, let's give it a try. This will be Cruz's suit color. They both need dark suits. Everybody wears dark suits. Where's the joy? So you get the idea with the color. Think layers. Think how it's going to print with crummy registration. Put your black lines on top. Basically how you would do ink lines to come out on top cleanly over your colors if you're doing a traditional illustration. Although lots of people like to do their lines first and then do the Dr. Martens dyes or something that are pretty clearly are pretty transparent, rather. Oops. Clean up this little bit of crud. Then I'm going to come back and give him just a little bit of light and shadow on his suit like I did with Donald Trump. Just a little. Let's give him the white cuffs and collar. I'm going to give him a bit of gray shoe. Would he have brown shoes? Maybe he would have brown shoes. Let's just match the shoes. Okay, I'm going to come back and give him his shading. And this will be soft and a little bigger. And opacity, maybe that. I just freehand everything. I've seen how these coloring artists for the comic books color, and they're very careful with all their masks. And I don't do that. I just freehand everything. Let's give them a little bit more dark. Everybody's gone silent. Let's give him a red tie, huh? Okay, now let's do a little bit of something fun in the background. How about 100% yellow? We'll put that in the stars. And that can be an orange planet. Those are a little bit blue. Go with a little green. Let's have a yellow lightning bolt. We have a brown doggy. How long does it normally take, start to finish, for a piece like this one? I think I started this one around noon, and it's here at 6 o'clock. This one's taken a long time. Did I start it at 1? Not sure I remember. But I think spending the afternoon on a cartoon is kind of a reasonable plan. Figure on spending the afternoon. I think I'm going to give Ted a little bit of texture. Let's give him a new layer, so I'm sure I'm on top. So now the question is, am I done? Still not entirely happy with Trump. Give him a little bit more hair definition here, I think. Excuse me. And I think that's just about it. Oops. Excuse me. Sorry, that's my hay fever talking. After you finish this, when would you expect it in the papers? Writes Rapper. Well, sometimes they hang on to these for a long time and there's no telling when they're going to print them. But I think I'll send this one out either tonight or tomorrow morning. And then it'll be available to print the following day or any day after that. Not much point in sending it now because it's 6 o'clock. The newspapers are all closed. So I might as well just send it out tomorrow morning. Excuse me. Yeah, Cruz is looking better than Trump. Not a real strong Trump here today. I regret that. But Trump is what he is, and today he is not a strong Trump. Okay, I don't think this is one of my best cartoons, but it is good enough. I'll go with good enough. Do I normally do one cartoon a day? No. I usually do 2 or 3 a week. And I'm gonna try to start doing some more advertising work. Get that into the flow, because that pays a bit better than the editorial cartoons. All right, I think I'm all done, folks. Thank you for sticking with me. Please do follow me on Twitch. I really appreciate the follows on Twitch. And I'm finished. This is my next cartoon. You saw it here first. Thank you very much, and thank you, Rapper. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.